Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man Cornell X in the building, and I got a whole bunch of angry parents and teachers. Rosa Hernandez, I told you I was going to get you. I told you when you had fur with all that craziness and that racism that I was going to get you. The Reaper coming. And we here tonight. Y'all kick back, man. Bear with me. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. I apologize that it took so long to get everything up and running tonight. I'm out of town. Minneapolis, Dante Wright trial. Was able to get into my Airbnb a day before I was supposed to get in. So, dealing with technical difficulties is what we're doing right now. But I got my good friend Cornell X in the building. What's going on, brother? Let's unmute you for a second. There you go. What's going on, my man?
I am doing well, brother. Thank you for having me on another segment of the War Zone. It is a privilege and an honor to be on here with you, brother, speaking and representing and fighting for Black women of courage that are really courageous to come on your show and let the world know what's going on inside of our schoolhouses, that many administrators who are corrupt by the spirit want to keep quiet. So I just want to say to you parents, to you teachers that have the courage to stand up like Christ stood up without fear. It is our duty to stand with you and back you in this effort because it takes courage to do what you are doing.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I got a phone call about a week ago from a teacher over at Welch Middle School. And she was telling me about some things that were going on that at the school in reference to a teacher using the N-word in the classroom, and then the administration trying to cover it up, coercing kids into writing statements. Remind me of the Central Park Five, where they coerce kids into writing false statements. And then she told me the principal's name, Rosa Hernandez. And immediately I called Quan. We got 87 minutes of tape with racism and all kinds of foolishness on it. But then I called Dr. Muhammad, and he was like, I'm not familiar with this principal. Yes, you are, Doc. That's the same principal that was at Fur that took Bertie Simmons' place and used some of the same tactics on the kids at Fur when they started complaining about him. To the point, she even got one kid arrested and sent to jail wrongfully. So Rosa Hernandez, this show is dedicated to you. And now I'm going to unmute one of the bravest teachers that I've ever seen. Let's see if we can get you unmuted, Miss Kelly. And Miss Kelly, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
You are a teacher at Welch Middle School, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what happened? And we're going to go a little fast because I want Quan in this thing big time,
Okay.
because I know his time is limited. Tell us in briefly what you experienced with Rosa Hernandez at Welch Middle School. And trust me, say what you need to say, because retaliation going to get y'all sued over there at HISD. Go ahead. You got the flow.
Yes. Three girls came to me to inform me that a teacher by the name of Miss Fernandez, their math teacher, had used the N word, the F word, the B word, and the S word. I told them to write statements. I did not believe that she had said those things at first. I didn't think that was her character. So I handed them to my grade level principal, Mr. Alvin Goldman. He took both statements, and I never heard anything else. But then I got a third statement with the same information. This time, I read it thoroughly. I sent a text message to Mr. Goldman, and about 5 minutes later, he came through the door with Mr. Plancarte to retrieve that statement. And they were telling me that the girls were lying, they're bullying in the bathroom. And I said, I don't want to hear all that. Stick to the topic. I want you to tell me, did this teacher say the N word in her room? That's what I want to know. And if she did, I'm going to have a problem with it. So once you do your investigation, let me know something. However, that never occurred. So what I did was I went into Miss Rosa Hernandez's office.
Crazy woman.
I approached her in regards to some things that had happened on campus. I heard where they were bullying and intimidating these three girls who were brave enough to write these statements. But what they didn't know is that I was next door. So threatening these babies with DAP, ISS, I'm going to call your parents. You need to write a statement saying that you're sorry, but put it in your own words. And when I went to talk to her in regards to the situation, she called me names, called me a snoop. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. Just very offensive, very, 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 very rude.
So, Quan, let me ask you a question. We know that Miss Kelly is not lying because she taped everything. Did you get them tapes, my brother? Hold on, let me turn your mic on. Hold on. There you go. Did you get them tapes, my brother?
I did get the tapes, and I was shocked and ashamed at the same time. I was shocked that they admitted that this teacher did use the exact language that the children said that she had used, and the exact language that the children wrote in their statements was investigated and found to be factual, that the
Now
children were not lying.
but here's the
But what
problem
hurt me,
that I'm confused about. You have statements that Miss Kelly got that backs up the recording, but then you got a principal who coerces the kids to write statements saying they never said it.
well, it wasn't just the principal, it was also another Black administrator, I believe an assistant principal, who encouraged the kids to change their statements. This is a Black brother who we in the Black community hold him in high esteem to protect our children from such bigotry, hate, and inflammatory, insultful language used by a teacher that is very unprofessional, unethical, demeaning, and insulting to the students as well as the Black community. But to listen to this Black administrator, our brother, try to cover it up and fix it, that brother should be ashamed of himself. And the same way that Miss Fernandez should be held accountable for her work and her wrong in this, for she did try to cover it up absolutely and punish this teacher for bringing it out and bringing it to their attention and encouraging the students to speak the truth and write the truth. Miss Fernandez tried to punish this strong, beautiful sister for standing up for Black kids, but that Black assistant principal, that brother should be dealt with by the same means and methods that Miss Fernandez should and has to be dealt with by us in the Black community.
Now, as I said, there's a history and a pattern of Rosa Hernandez forcing children to write contradictory statements. We went through that in the past at Fur High School when she did the same exact thing. And what I don't understand, HISD, based on the number of times that you've had to come and bail this woman out, do the things that you have to do to cover up for this woman, I'm trying to understand why this lady even got a job till this day. She's connected. According to what we understand, she's connected at HISD. And she can do what she wants, Quan, even to the point that her and the board member can call a meeting for pastors on a Sunday, on a holiday, and open the schools and don't even invite the community. Now, people say you wrong. They can do whatever they want to do at the school. Well, if I'm so wrong, then why they cancel the meeting when I exposed it? Because go ahead, bro.
I don't have a problem with people praying for teachers and praying for students and praying for the success of the school. But why did not Miss Fernandez invite these same community pastors and board member or members to also be a part of this investigation and learn what's been taking place on that campus? She will invite them to pray for the school, but you won't pray for bigoted teachers using racism and using vulgar language to address these students on campus. You invite them to pray for you and your administration, but you won't ask them to pray for you all to stop corrupting investigations and punishing and retaliating against teachers who do stand up for the children. So I say to those pastors who are coming to pray, are you going to stand for these children? Are you going to stand for these teachers who are whistleblowers, who are telling the truth about Ms. Fernandez and her administration? I want to see if you're going to do more than just pray for the wicked. Will you pray for the victims of injustice and mistreatment on that campus? Because the most sacred thing on that campus are those children.
Well, Miss Kelly, the thing that alarmed me in the beginning when I'm listening to the tape and when I'm listening to you was when they held the kids in the classroom, forced them to miss lunch to try and, intimidate them into changing their statements. Did that happen, ma'am? Because according to what we heard on the tape, it did. And I got some parents here who want to speak about some things with this same principle. Go ahead, Miss Kelly.
Yes, I happened to be having lunch, and I heard this hollering and screaming. So I thought it was another administrator with one of my colleagues that we have lunch with. So I went through a little small room where we have a microwave. I opened the door. I saw the two male principals, but I didn't see Miss Hernandez. However, I heard the words that she was saying to the kids. When I talked to her about why she held these kids from lunch, she told me, well, why were you listening? And I was trying to tell her it was my lunchtime, and she called me names in regards to that. By the time I got the opportunity to tell her that was my lunchtime, and my problem is, why were you holding kids from lunch? That's inappropriate. Well, they got lunch. Mr. Goldham, he got them lunch. Well, they didn't get their full 30 minutes. And at this point in time, every time she tells me something and opens up her mouth, it's a lie. So then I told her that that's where we have lunch, and she apologized for it. But I also asked her about a couple of things that I heard her say to those girls, threatening them with writing this letter. If not, for bullying, you go to DAEP. We have bullying every day on that campus, and kids lying every day. Well, all of a sudden, do you want to send these three girls to DAP or ISS for bullying when you've got bullying every single day and no one else is going to DAEP? So that was one of my questions. You coercing, bullying, intimidating these babies. And then when I said that you scared them, she said they should be scared. They need to fear her. I said they shouldn't fear you. They should respect you. And that is all on the audio tape. And that's
Okay.
all that I'm going to say.
But that's little girls. That was on the audio tape. The same audio tape me and Minister Cornell X heard. But let's not forget about our boys. What happened in the hallway with a male black student?
Well, this young student came to me. We had field day. He was upset. He said that he had a run-in with Miss Hernandez in the front office. Something about the dress code. He had on jeans or something that he wasn't supposed to be wearing. However, there's a lot of kids that are not in dress code, but for some odd reason, they had words. He was very upset in the front office, so she called Mr. Goldman to calm him down. So when Mr. Goldman got up there, he tapped him in his chest and told him to sit down. Well, the young black male student sit down. Mr. Goldman walked away, and she was so furious that a black man had calmed down a black child. She called that black man back and told that black child to stand back up. And she said, so you gonna listen to him because he's black and you're black? 6 or 7 Hispanic women asked you to sit down and calm down, and you wouldn't, but he tell you because he's black you're gonna respond to him. Well, I have a problem with that. A lot of my black male students and Hispanic male students look to administration for a fatherly type of role. So when she said that, I told her when I met with her, I was offended by that. That's a racial comment. And she tried to defend it and really could care less what she told me on the audio. It shows you exactly how she felt about it. She said she wasn't wrong. He should have listened to her. I said, he's a kid. What you should have said, He's racist. I said, he's not racist. He didn't bring race into it. You did when you said he's black, you're black. You brought race into it. He's a
So,
kid.
so minister, what do you have to say about that incident? Hold on, let me get your mic up. Hold on. There you go.
When you listen to the tape, the principal admits the young man never brought race up. He just saw a teacher that was a man with whom he had a connection with, and that man knew how to deal with a young man from his own community and calm the young man down and got him to become respectful. But obviously, Miss Fernandez, based on what I listened to on the tape, she saw nothing but race in that interaction. The young man never brought it up. The teacher questioning her about the incident never brought it up. So it's obviously that this is a teacher that has a color problem. Obviously, not a teacher, but a principal that has a color problem. Obviously, this is a principal that sees race. And she also doesn't like black children that respond to black administrators and teachers one way and to Hispanic teachers a different way. But Ms. Fernandez fails to understand, as a leader of the school, you're to lead all children, all teachers, all administrators, no matter what the sex or race is. And I'm ashamed to hear a principal bring up race in regards to how a child responded to a male teacher when the poor child did not bring up race one time. And she wouldn't apologize about it. She stood on it and tried to justify it.
How does that, especially to you, minister, and I'm talking to you a lot because I know you got to leave, but how does that make you feel to hear all this on this tape, knowing that they have the ability and they're comfortable trying to cover it up, but yet we're governed by an African American as superintendent, which is named Millard House the third?
The superintendent, who's now the new superintendent, this case right here at Welch Middle School will be a litmus test of how he handles situations like this, where administrators at the very top at a school campus are the problem. I want to see how Brother House would deal with this and what message he will send district wide when principals are out of line, when principals are the bully, when principals are the racist, when principals are the intimidators, that there's a zero tolerance policy for them also, like you hold students to. I want to see if Brother Millard House is going to send a message that we have zero tolerance for this, or you're going to let us all know she is protected from up top. And let's find out who's protecting her, and then let's deal with them also, because our children can no longer continue to go to school in such a hostile environment where a principal absolutely has a problem with race.
Well, Quan is the nice guy, and he's very articulate. I'm hood. What he telling you, Mr. House? Either you gonna stand up like a strong black man, or you gonna be a house knuckle. That's all it boils down to. Because Rosa Hernandez should have been fired years ago, and yet she's still holding on to a job. Now, what I don't want to do is leave my parents out of the equation. We got far more parents that we just couldn't get on tonight. We had technical difficulties, but we do have Jania's mom and we have Nicole. Nicole, how you doing? Let's make sure that Nicole, her mic is on. Nicole, unmute your mic, please. How you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad that you're here. You don't have to show your face if you're not comfortable. But tell us what experiences you've dealt with your child at Welch Middle School and Principal Hernandez. Hold on. You got to unmute your mic, sweetheart. You muted your mic. Nicole, unmute your mic. Hello. Jania's mom, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Tell us what experiences you've had with Rosa Hernandez at Welch as far as her being the principal. What's going on with your baby over there?
Honestly, I don't know who Mrs. Rosa Hernandez is. I just know the what's her name? Fernandez. Who, I mean Miss Hernandez. This is Janaya teacher that she be calling me to get complaint about Janaya. Uh, and so many things that Janaya had done, which I was not aware. Like it was a big lie coming from her.
So the thing is Jania's teacher is Miss Fernandez, the
Mhm.
teacher that was cursing in the classroom, Miss Kelly, if I'm correct, and the one that used the N word. Now, all of a sudden, Jania's mom has to go to school in regards to Jania's conduct.
Yeah, they tell me tomorrow I will have to be in school at 4:10 because all teachers is gonna be there waiting for me to for we can discuss Janaya behavior and things like that. But 2 months ago, I spoke to that teacher and I tell her like you should not be part of the bullying. Like this is not nice. Like and I tell her like I'm gonna take it to the next level because you bullying my daughter. And she was like, "Oh, I apologize, me. It's not gonna happen again." But she keep calling me, texting me, things like that. So like they called me one day that Janaya is gonna be detention. I mean in the detention house and things like that. And I say, "Oh, okay, it is okay." And this, but like I say, I was not aware what was going on with my daughter that she was going through that and things like that. I know
So,
every day they
so, so
call me.
before any of this was reported that we're talking about in the tape with all the stuff on it that we figured out, all the racist stuff was going on there. You wasn't being called to school to deal with nothing. Am I correct?
No, no. Honestly, at this point, I don't really feel safe sending my daughter to that school because Janaya mentioned to me that Miss Hernandez went to her face to face, saying that in Spanish, saying that hit me, like since Janaya is black, but she's we kind of black, but we do speak Spanish, so she understand everything that Miss Hernandez would say to her in Spanish.
So
Yeah,
Miss
so
Hernandez used the second language to try
yeah,
to entice your daughter to hit her by saying it in Spanish,
in
and yet
Spanish.
you got to go to school and deal with your daughter's conduct.
Yeah, and Janaya told me that Miss Hernandez went to face to her like hit me. But Janaya say, "Oh, just leave me alone and get out of my face," which I was not aware of that too. But like I say, I don't feel safe sending my daughter to that school anymore because I feel like Miss Hernandez she not capable to be there. Like I feel like she's a danger teacher for this kid.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can get Nicole. Nicole, if you're there, unmute your microphone, please, if you're still here. Nicole? Okay. Pepper, are you here? Pepper, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
How you doing? Are you a parent of a young child at Welch?
No, I am not. I'm simply someone who cares about the children in the community.
Okay, I mean you're a stakeholder, you're a taxpayer.
I'm a taxpayer.
How do you feel about this lady with what we know, the recordings that we have? How do you feel as a taxpayer for a school that has such great history, these type of antics going on a school campus?
Well, quite frankly, I am infuriated by it. I believe that um, Black children, brown children, just in our communities, we are suffering from PTSD as it is because all of the things that are going on in our lives and just to make it day to day and still be alive. So when you send your children to school, you're sending them there under the auspice of learning and also being as protected as possible in the climate of the world today. But for a principal, the person with the highest power in the school um, to validate the racial slurs of a teacher as she presents them to the children, I don't have an adjective to describe that. I I don't appreciate the fact that my tax dollars are going to pay for someone who, by all accounts, hates everything that I stand for. This is the skin I'm in. This is the skin our children are born into, and that this is our alpha. This is our omega. This is this we were born this way. We're going to die this way. And guess what? We're beautiful. The most generous and the most compassionate people on earth, considering all of the things that we've been through and the things that we continue to go through. So for any parent to send their child to school and feel that they are not protected, and in fact, they may be an endangered species at the hands of the person in charge of the school, or the second in command, or the third in command, all of the administrators who were involved in this incident, and I did listen to all 87 or 89 minutes of that recording, and unfortunately, I was not shocked because I know that these types of things happen. I'm simply happy to say that my sister, Miss Kelly is my sister. I'm simply happy to know that the way that we were raised, you advocate for those who cannot speak for themselves. And you raise the roof. There are consequences that may come along with that, but you have to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. You know, things will get better for you by and by, but these kids, they don't have a voice yet because they're minors, they're children. They're entrusted to, as a former educator, they are entrusted to our care until they return home to their parents, and then again, and then again.
Well, I tell you this here, and you guys, I'm out of town, but I tell you what, Jania's mom, let me make sure her mic is on. Turn your mic on, Jania's mom. Let's get something on. Are you there?
Yes.
Nicole, are you there? Are you back, Nicole? If you are, turn your mic on, because I'm about to give you a gift. I don't think that you should go into hostile territory without representation. I don't think that you should have to go to school and deal with what I call a conspiracy at this point. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do everything through Teams. We're going to do it virtually. I'm your advocate now, the baddest son of a bitch in the state of Texas. So that's all it boiled down to. And on top of that, Miss Kelly, knowing how I know how they get on, I'm going to say a name. His name is Scott Newar, HISD. You want to play with him? Oh, he's my attorney. I saw him at Birdie's homegoing ceremony the other day, and I had a conversation with him about Miss Kelly. The last time Scott ran up on y'all, it cost you $300,000. He slapped you over your head with Birdie for another $100,000. That ain't counting everything else he done whooped your ass on. So he waiting in the wings, Miss Kelly, if you receive any retaliation in regards to just doing the right thing. So y'all, Jania's mom, you need to notify the school in the morning that you have representation. I will represent you for free, but we got to do it virtually. You ain't going into no school with no Rosa Hernandez. This is a woman that has sent people to jail wrongfully. She sent parents to jail. She sent kids to jail. And we ain't finna let you get put in that situation. If they want to have a meeting, they now have to have it with me. So when I finish, we're going to exchange numbers. Miss Kelly, you'll send me her number.
Yes.
And then I'll give her a call. And then I'll tell her what we got to do. But I'm in the business of spanking HISD's ass. That's what I'm in the business of doing. And that's what it's going to be. I'm going to tell y'all something. Excuse me for being so animated. I've been dealing with this school district for over 10 years. So I'm like Pepper. When I heard the tape, it never surprised me because this is everything that I expect them to allow to happen to Black and brown kids on these school campuses. This is what I expect them to do. This is what they do every single day. And then, and they always seem to do it to the poor Black kids. They do it and you just said earlier that there are kids that are out of dress code every day. But I guarantee you that little white Johnny she ain't messing with like that out of dress code. She don't bother him. But the Black and the poor Latinos, she just gonna traumatize them. So Jania's mom, you're not going to no meeting. You're not going to no
Okay.
meeting. I got you. And this
Okay.
me to you, I'm gonna spank them for you. I'm gonna do to them what they've been doing to your daughter, because I'm the original education bully.
Thank you.
Now, Miss Kelly, it takes a lot of courage for you to step in this water, because normally when you step in this water as a teacher, you're retaliated against. A lot of them end up losing their jobs. And where is your mind frame at right now? Because I know you were raised by a true revolutionary. So where's your mind frame at right now? Are you afraid, or what did it take for you just to come out with this and say enough is enough? I'm not having it. I'm an African American, and I've heard enough on this campus.
Well, my father was a civil rights activist, and I walk with my Heavenly Father on a daily basis. I'm just passing through this world because my kingdom is up above. When I leave this world, what purpose will I have served? I've served several, but besides giving birth to my 2 daughters, this will be the biggest purpose in my life. People send their children to school and they send their best for education. Like I told her when I spoke to her, I'm a Black mother, I'm a Black person, I'm a Black educator, and above all, I'm an advocate for children. When those babies are hurt at school, they come to me. Even when they go to a higher grade, something bothers them, they come to me. So as a teacher, ethically, what I'm supposed to do is report any type of abusive situation. That's what they say you need to do when a parent's being abusive. So now I got to step forward when the administration team and administrators being abusive, and I got to holler out. And I'm going to be the whistleblower for the racism that's occurring at Welch Middle School. Can't hear you.
Normally, when there's an investigation going on and they say there's an investigation, HISD has totally abandoned this policy. If the principal is under investigation, then they should be removed from the campus. Am I correct?
Yes.
Sent to an alternate site, or either you send them home, send them to the book room, or wherever you be sending them, to the stadium or whatever. But they have not done that. And I think it's because Rosa Hernandez feels that she's connected. There was an incident with a parent, with an African American parent, if I'm correct. And after that parent left, what did Miss Hernandez say? And I think it will validate what I'm feeling.
She spoke about the mother. I taught her sons in summer school. They're beautiful boys. And this young man, I was coming back from lunch and the parent was coming in towards the school. She was furious. She said she was very upset with Miss Hernandez. And she expressed that her son had picked up a shirt, selected a shirt that had spots on it. When Miss Hernandez passed by him, she said his shirt was dirty and that she was going to refer this parent to CPS.
Whoa, 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 whoa. So the shirt, according to Fernandez, the teacher, was
No,
dirty.
the principal.
No,
The
that's
principal.
Rosa Hernandez.
Yes.
According to Rosa Hernandez, the shirt was dirty and she was going to refer it to CPS.
Yes.
So you're going to try to separate a child from his family because of a dirty shirt, but you're in a Title I school where all you had to do was give him a clean one, because that's what the Title I funds are for. Am I correct?
Yes.
So rather than give him a shirt, she said she was going to call CPS. So we're going to separate a Black family just because we in charge. But keep going.
So when the Black mother who I've spoken with, because like I said, I had her sons, she was furious. And she said as soon as she stepped through the door, the look on her face, Miss Hernandez didn't even give her the opportunity to say anything. She called the officer into the office and was telling the officer to arrest this mother because she was irate because she had threatened to take her kids away by CPS. The mother did leave, but that was the situation that occurred on at Welch Middle School.
Let's look at some of her hiring practices. Do white people get hired at this school in certain capacity?
The people that have been there since I've been there, this is my second year. Um, she's gracious in regards to letting administration select their people. She's gracious in regards to you referring people to be selected. If you want to follow a pattern for Rosa Hernandez, the people that she has promoted have been all Hispanic, not non-Hispanic, but all Hispanic. She said she brought up all the principals at her school to let me know I promoted this person, that person. Every person that's black at that school was there when Hernandez got there, including Mr. Goldman. He's the only one that she has promoted. She's promoted everyone that's Hispanic to higher positions. She even promoted a teacher with a bachelor's as the Magnet GT coordinator. And Welch Middle School is underwater in regards to a magnet program because I remember when they were running 1,800 kids and now we have 618. And you mean to tell me you're going to hire a person with no experience? So I asked her, teachers on this campus are upset with better qualifications. Did you post the job? They said they didn't see it. I posted it. Well, did you interview? Yes, I did. Did you interview any people on this campus? No, they were outside. She's probably lying. She lies to me quite frequently. So I told her that I felt that it was, a little racist because I also had paid attention to the front wing of the office. She has one black person who's the attendance person, and everyone else is Hispanic. She told me she will not hire anybody unless they speak English and Spanish. I informed her that that was racist. That is discriminatory against people who do not speak two languages. Then she went on to tell me that she fired two Hispanic janitors because they didn't speak English. Again, that's discrimination. You cannot hold a person's race against them for not hiring. And like I told Ms. Hernandez, you can always tell when something's not right. When you have a specific group of people that exceed another group of people in race, you know who's at the top. And if I ask Ms. Hernandez tomorrow, what black person have you directly hired, promoted, and brought to this school? The answer would be zero. She does not hire non-Hispanic people. She only hires Hispanic people. And everybody that she wants to bring over is always of Hispanic culture.
Now, in order to hire people, you have to pay them money. So I'm gonna go back to my taxpayer. Pepper, are you still there?
I am.
After hearing all of this, what do you think? You're a taxpayer.
I believe that a public school setting should be representative. The front office staff, the teachers should be representative of the diverse population that attends that school. When a child or a parent goes into the office, quite naturally, in most situations, that parent is going to feel a level of comfort and confidence when speaking with someone with whom they share um, a, a culture, some type of commonality. Well, that's not just for the Hispanic parents and children who attend that school. That's also for the Black children who attend that school, or if there are any white children who attend that school, which is most probably the reason that the young man was calmed by Mr. Goldman's interaction with him because he could relate to him, a black boy to a black man. Black parents need to see faces with whom they share a familiarity, a cultural familiarity. And for her not to do that in a school that is in a diverse community, it's wrong. And again, my tax dollars are funding this. I'm just one of many, many people whose tax dollars are funding this. And I don't appreciate it. It needs to change. And quite frankly, this principal and any other administrator who was a part of and continues to facilitate this type of behavior, they all need to go. Education really is just the wrong field for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, they should really be working at the car wash. That's what they
Someplace,
should be.
absolutely, someplace else, any place other than dealing with children whose minds are forming and whose futures depend upon the people with whom they interact today.
Now, Miss Kelly, you brought up the fact that she's fired a few people. Is there anything that she's directly done to you, removed, you from a certain position or anything like that while you've been there, or taken resources away from you?
Well, I have been informed that I am a liaison for the Houston Federation of Teachers on my campus. I was informed that she said it was a conflict of interest and she was going to remove me from the position. She confirmed that
Which
expression when
position
I
was that?
met with her.
Which position was that?
I'm cluster leader on my campus, and I'm also the liaison for the Houston Federation of Teachers, the teachers union. She didn't like that combination, so it was brought to me that it was a conflict of interest, and she wanted to remove me as cluster leader
When did this
because I
happen?
was the liaison for the Houston Federation of Teachers.
When did this happen?
About 3 weeks ago.
Right about the time all of this foolishness popped off.
Yeah.
So would you consider that retaliation?
Yes, when I went into her office, one of the things that she clearly stated was, that's why I didn't want you to give you this position, because you were going to have racial issues. And I asked her, so let me clarify this. What you're saying is you didn't want to give me a position because I was going to be talking about the racial problems that you have on your campus? No, 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 that's not what I'm saying. I want you to have my back. Like, have my back. Like, she's talking like she's mafia. Breaking policy and procedure, illegal activities. I'm not going to have your back. You're wrong. You've been allowed to get away with it for too long, because how can I have your back when you're wrong? And like I told her, as long as I'm out there in front of people, I'm not going to say anything. But when I come in that office, I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. And Ms. Hernandez is wrong on so many levels. And even during the time I was talking to her, I would tell her, let me help you. You're wrong. I'm trying to help you. You consistently put the foot in your mouth. Even when it comes to compensation on the campus, supplemental pay, regular people, non-Hispanic people don't get the opportunity to make all this additional money like everybody else does. So I will be
Wow.
requesting an audit in regards to the financial payments to people on that campus dating back since she's been there for the last 2 years. Now, as long as everybody's getting the same amount of money, the same opportunity to make money, I'll be fine. But if it's uncovered that she's paying people that she's not supposed to be paying, or she's giving them more money, or giving them the opportunity to make money and not giving it to the rest of the teachers, I need to unearth that. That's a problem. And she would need to go,
Well, you
because
you're a
that would
member,
be theft.
you're a member of HFT. Um, what is their position on her?
Their position is, once she retaliates or does something to me, when I let them know about that situation, the president was in contact with me as well as attorneys, but she never made the move and she never did pull me from the position. But they were very reactive to it and prepared.
Okay. Well, we just want to make sure that you treated the right way, because I've had issues with HFT in the past, but as long as they took care of you, we don't have an issue on this issue.
Now,
Um,
when I did return from Thanksgiving, once that went on, I knew she was going to retaliate. That's who she is. So I was off for emotional distress, just trying to figure things out. What's the best way to approach this? Is my job on the line? How do I protect these children and all of that? So when I went back after Thanksgiving on Monday, second period, here come all three of them: Miss Hernandez, Mr. Goldman, Mr. Plancarte. I expected them,
and
but
when
I
you
didn't
say here,
expect
here,
them to.
here come
Oh,
all three of them, tell the
they
people
came to
what you
my
mean.
room. They came to my room.
To
walk
observe you?
through.
To observe you?
No, they just came to walk through. Basically, they came to intimidate me. They don't come to my room. I'm a highly effective teacher.
Hold
My
on. Let's back.
scores go start.
Let's back up for a second before you
Mhm.
tell them your credentials on that level. So they never come to your room.
No,
So when they do their little walkthroughs or whatever, or they come to observe, how many people normally do that?
one.
But on this day after Thanksgiving, after the complaint has been filed, you have 3 people that physically walk through your room.
The same people I complained on.
Wow. Let me see if Nicole, are you there? If you are, okay, there. Nicole, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Are you a parent, a teacher, a taxpayer?
No, so I'm a parent, and
Tell
I
us.
must, yeah, I
Go ahead.
must say, so today was my first day, like I was made aware, of the severity of all of this. I am very, very, very concerned, about like what's going on and what's been going on at the school. I can say, my daughter, she did mention this to me a few weeks ago, and I honestly I shut it down because I was like, I thought it was just going to be some more school like mess or drama. So I shut it down. But it wasn't until today that it was really brought to my attention on the severity of what's been going on and what's happening. And my
Did,
daughter, go ahead.
your daughter is she one of the kids with the I'm trying to see where your daughter fits in. If she's one of the kids that complained about the lady cursing, or is it something else?
All of the above.
Okay, well, I tell you what, I give you the same gift I gave Janai's mom. I think I'm the best education advocate in the state of Texas. I don't think it, I know it. So if you need an advocate for this here, then free of charge, I'd be glad to get on for you, because this is enough is enough. I mean, did you have a clue that they were holding your child from lunch to
Well,
write? Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Well, she told me about it today. But I can say, over the, few weeks, I've gotten numerous calls from just different teachers. Ms. Hernandez herself has not contacted me, but just, different teachers.
But how
And
does it
Ms.
feel
Kelly
as a
was not
parent?
one of them.
But how does it feel as a parent to know that your child was denied lunch behind something that your child basically told the truth about, and they trying to get her to change her statement?
I am very, very, very upset, especially when she takes her own lunch to school. So,
Wow.
how are you? It's not like she's eating the school lunch and she's waiting for someone to bring it to her. My daughter takes her own lunch. So wherever they
what's
kept
crazy?
her.
You know what's crazy is your daughter said one thing. She wrote her initial statement, which backs up the tape that we have. So the question now becomes, why and who made her change her statement, the one that Hernandez has?
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy, because now you got 2 statements going both ways. You see what I'm saying? And
Yes.
the thing is, are we coercing kids into putting themselves in positions where they can basically end up in alternative school? See, alternative school to me is the start of the school to prison pipeline. So
Mm-hmm.
you're threatening these children with alternative school because your teacher violated policy and procedure. They did the right thing by telling an adult and writing a statement to back it up. But where Hernandez is so dumb is you're going to say, well, we got a statement, but baby, you on tape admitting that the teacher did it.
Sad.
What I need you for you parents to always do, when your child say something, believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Believe them, because these kids don't be lying 98% of the time. We got some pedophiles working on our school campuses. We got some certified racists working on our school campuses. We got all kinds of elements on our school campuses, and all our kids are there for is for them to make money off of. So what I really need, and I always tell this to parents, and not because they don't care, but because sometimes we know how kids are. We know our kids, so we'll overlook certain things. I don't need y'all to do this with the Houston Independent School District. You're going to have to take everything at face value, because if not, these people will railroad your child and have your child in the middle of something they ain't got nothing to do with. So right now, you have a representative. Your child has a representative. Jania's mom has a representative. Her baby has a representative. And contrary to popular opinion, HISD, you don't want this smoke. You don't want this smoke. You know, I bring more smoke than the turkey leg hut. They don't want this smoke. And they know they don't want it. And what's so crazy to me is you got several different elements. You got the activism element on here. You got the parents. You got the teachers. You got taxpayers. And all of us are appalled. So now the question becomes, because they watch these videos, the superintendent, I know you see them. How long it's going to be before you pull all them people off their campus? Because unless we can figure this out, Houston, we have the Welch 3, just like the Central Park 5. And what I mean by that, those officers in the Central Park 5 coerced them kids into writing fictitious statements that ended up destroying their lives. And this is what's been done on the Welch campus. And guess what? We'll unleash the tape, if you don't mind, Miss Kelly. Can I put the tape? Don't put the tape out.
No, whatever you just suggest, I don't mind.
Oh, well, you know me, I like to have fun. Y'all, I'm gonna load the tape up. I'm gonna put the tape out, and then you're gonna get to hear it firsthand. 87 minutes of pure racism. And the thing is, this should not be on a school campus around our children. This should not be that. This should not be on our campuses. So, Miss Kelly, you know, tomorrow you might get pulled in. Tomorrow they might tell you got to go home.
Man. What
I need you to do, put your hand up like this here. Put your hand up like this here. Can you see my hand? I want you to do just what I'm doing. That means write the check. If y'all fool with her, write the check. Because we going to spank you. And you brave parents, I appreciate you taking the time out to come on. And I'll start it with this here. Miss Nicole, you still there?
Yes.
You got anything else you want to say? We're at the end.
No, you know, again, it's very alarming. You know, you send your child to school to get a great education, and to find out that they're being held back from eating lunch, and especially like my daughter, she brings her own lunch, so you wouldn't even let her eat her own lunch while you held her back.
No, they held her hostage.
And
that's that. Hey man, it is what it is. Miss Pepper, you got some final words for the people?
Yes, I do. First of all, I want to say to my sister, Miss Kelly, that I'm so very proud of you. Our parents would be proud of you. All the things that we have gone through in our lifetimes, fighting for justice and civil rights. Hey, now you see the reason that we went through all of those things. And you just keep on doing what you're doing, advocating for these children. And as far as the children go, I'm praying for them and their parents, their families, just for the right to a safe, healthy, and racist-free learning environment. They have a long ways to go. Their lives have only just begun.
Miss Kelly, you got some final words?
My final words is that HISD needs a total overhaul. And I don't say everything happens for a reason. Mr. House, I know you have someone listening. If you're not listening yourself, you're new to this job. You haven't even made the first year. But I will tell you, corruption is at its core, from your district to the different schools. I like how you have the town halls. I like how you have the surveys for teachers and parents. But you must listen to us, because we are at the roots and we are the frontline workers. And once you get out all of the cancer, the host will have a chance to survive. And if not, HSD will continue to go down, because they used to be the #1 school district and now they are not. And I think with your leadership and guidance and fairness and unbiased, we can get there again. But it's going to take a strong person with the support of the community, teachers, and parents to get the ship right, our right side up. So hopefully you're listening and we can make those changes. I look forward to working with you, Mr. Monroe. I look forward to protecting those babies. I'm an advocate for children. So parents, do not fear. The only way that I cannot protect them is if they send me home. And if they send me home, I will call and let you know your babies are there and I'm not on that campus to protect them, because that's what I do for every child, Hispanic or non-Hispanic, each and every day. So thank you, Mr. Monroe, for coming to assist me with this endeavor. I've had a heavy heart. I've had a lot to think about, and it's been a very emotional, stressful time. So thank you, sir.
Well, I'm gonna say this here. Y'all don't get out of here yet. I'm a praying man. And it looked like last Sunday they was gonna have a revival over there with a bunch of pastors. So I'm gonna send you fair warning. You could do what's right by these kids, or the streets got something to say. But since you are so prayerful and you believe in God to the point that you wanted to have the pastors on the campus, and I just want to remind you of something. You know Lucifer? You keep messing with them kids, you about to meet him. I can promise you that. Say it's a reason. I'm the best in the business. Every night, 7 o'clock, YouTube and Facebook. Ain't no telling what we're going to talk about. I want to thank my guests, Quanell X, Nicole, Pepper, Miss Kelly, the parents that couldn't get in. Don't worry, I'm here for you. And you know me. I am the 5-star general. Look like you got some shoestrings hanging out the back of your pants. Because that's where I'm finna put my foot. You're going to learn how to keep your mouth off of our babies. One way or the other. Don't matter to me. Until tomorrow night, man, I'm going to holler at you.